Hello, guys. I welcome you back to the channel. We are going to continue our discourse on adaptation, and this is the part two of adaptation. And we're going to continue this discourse by talking about succession. What's succession? Succession is the conquering of new habitats, conquering of new areas by plants and animals, such that a new habitat that was not conquered, that did not have species of plants and animals, now has species of plants and animals. So succession, it happens from time to time, and a new community is created where there was no existing community before. Now, as succession takes place, it continues to evolve. And as the new community continues to evolve, it evolves until it reaches what we refer to as a stable community. Now, in a stable community, you have what biologists and scientists refer to as a constant flux, meaning that you have the right proportion of plants, animals, and other organisms. Then you have the right amount of organisms dying, the right amount of organisms being born. So the ecosystem is maintained in a stable, what we refer to as a stable community, which is also an equilibrium. So this is important, and the achievement of a stable community or this equilibrium is very important in ecology and in the ecosystem. Now, this is very important to note. It's also important to note that for succession and a stable community to be achieved, there are concepts. We've already discussed competition before, and competition is the fierce struggle for scarce resources, and it occurs among organisms. It could be between the same kind of organisms, in that we refer to that one as the intraspecific, or within different organisms of different species, we call that the interspecific. Now, there's also what we call natural selection. As this competition continues, it leads to what we call natural selection. And natural selection is a process in which, due to the competition and the struggle for resources, the stronger organisms, the more better adapted organisms to the environment, survive at the expense of the weaker ones. So the weaker ones die out. The weaker organisms who are not able to compete favorably, who are not able to continue in this competition, they die out, and the stronger ones survive. And that way, it's also good for the ecosystem, because that way, what continues to propagate, or what goes into the future, are organisms that are better adapted to life, that are more suited to life, and are stronger for the struggle. So this is important. Now, we also have what we call structural adaptation. We're still talking adaptation. We have structural adaptation, and these are features or characteristics that organisms have that help them to conquer their environment. Organisms have these characteristics. It can be possession of particular characteristics on their bodies, and it helps them to be able to conquer the environment. They're able to live very well. Now, we'll go through a list of many organisms, but for this video, we'll just talk about two organisms. We'll talk about toads, and we'll talk about birds in general. Now, if we look at toads, what are some of the adaptive features that toads have? And even some frogs too have some of these features that help them to be able to conquer the environment. One is the possession of long sticking tongues. They have long tongues that are sticky, so they can bring out these tongues and they can catch insects. They can catch insects unaware, and then they feed on these insects. So the possession of these long sticky tongues with which they used to catch insects is an adaptive feature in toads. Another adaptive feature is the presence of olfactory organs. So with these olfactory organs, they are able to perceive smell. And so if they perceive a smell that is they feel might be dangerous for them, they find their way and leave that place. Now, toads also possess powerful hind legs. So they have hind limbs. They're able to hop, and then that helps them to be able to evade predators. If they are being chased by predators, they're able to hop their way to safety. Now, they also possess poisonous glands on their skin. So they have such poisonous gland on their skin that if the predators swallow or struggle to swallow them, they usually spit them out. Due to this poisonous gland, they are not able to swallow them. Now, that's also an adaptive feature. Toads also have this slimy skin. They have a slimy skin that helps them with respiration. So their surface, the surface of their body, is also a respiratory surface, and this is important for toad. This is also an adaptive feature that they have. The last adaptive feature we discussed for toads is the foul smell. A lot of toads have a very, very foul smell, and this makes them unattractive to predators. That smell keeps predators away. Now, look at what we're saying. We're talking about adaptive features. We see that all these features that we've listed out for toads makes them unattractive, makes it that the predators do not want to, come and eat them up. It also helps them to conquer the environment, helps them to be able to feed, helps them to be able to run away from predators, helps them to be able to respire correctly. And these are all features, adaptive features of toad. Now, when we leave toad, let's go to birds. Birds do have a lot of different adaptive features, and these features are based on the kind of birds that they are. Number one, you see carnivorous birds like the eagle, like the vulture. These birds have very strong claws and beaks, with which they are able to tear and bite skin, flesh off bones. So this is an important adaptive feature that these birds have, and they use it. Now, birds that feed on seeds, they have very strong beaks. So they're able to use those beaks to crack those seeds because they feed on the seeds. Birds that feed on aquatic animals, like fishes, such birds such as herons, you see that they have these long pointed beaks, so with which they are able to put it into the river and then make their catch. They also have beaks that, for example, now the woodpeckers, we see that they have very strong beaks with which they are able to bore into trees and make ways into trees. So these are all the different adaptive features that we see in birds. Birds also have very light hollow skeleton, which helps them to be able to fly easily. They also generate a lot of warmth when they fly, to give them warmth and protect their body from the cold. So all these features can be seen in different kinds of birds, and we refer to these features as adaptive features of birds. Thank you for listening to this. Please remember to like our content, share our content, and subscribe to our channel, and have a wonderful day.